Hey, and welcome to a Chicago Beer Pass beer review. And it's time for some double IPA. We're drinking this 4% beer. We got to up our game. What do we got?
Where have you been, Brad? What's going on?
8.5% Forbidden Root Beer. This is Endless Recess. Oh yeah, there's Ohio craft beer.
Yeah, they didn't move. They expanded to Ohio this year.
Yeah. Brewed and canned by Forbidden Root in Columbus, Ohio.
So what's the deal there? It seems so random for a brewery in Chicago. We talked about on the show. We talked about how they they changed the laws to get built on Chicago Avenue.
Right.
Lifted the moratorium, and then their second location is in Columbus, Ohio, of all places.
It just seems like the amount of beers that they had for sale, they must be more of like a production brewery because they could not be cranking this amount of beer out of the facility on Chicago Avenue. They have a lot of space, but it's just not set up. And look at this is a lot of their can design. It's ugly and plain. Like that feels very Ohio.
Brad comes out swinging. It reminds me of a story you told me once. We were just like, I was talking to some guy about Michigan, and before you know it, me and this guy were wrestling.
Oh, he like choked me.
I'm like, why would, but then I was like, Brad, low key, Brad is kind of slick with some of the descriptions with some of this shit. So I'm like, that's probably what the dude heard too.
Yes, this seems like a new design direction for Forbidden Root. It's not necessarily pleasing, but they all look uniform, and it's probably very easy to crank out beers right now.
I want to disagree with you, but I mean, I understand what you're saying, right? Because it's such a thoughtful place, right? Mm-hmm. From the recipes, in fact, even the whole concept of just like this botanical focused brewery,
and all those beers like the Small Talk and those ones they were doing with the Artist series, like those were like awesome cans.
Yeah, like we're making a root beer, but it's with all these these curated botanicals from that you've never heard of.
Yeah.
Right. Everything was just kind of well thought out and intentional. Mm-hmm. The design of the space, the recipes, the food, all of it. So, yeah, to your point, this is a shift in a different direction. I guess it's difficult to ramp those ideas up.
Right, like they have strawberry basil in like 6-pack, 12-ounce cans. Mm-hmm. That is a nice design. This hazy double IPA design thing is just like, it just seems like the direction right now. Who knows if it sticks around, but it's easy to crank out, right? I think it's all about speed.
Yeah, hopefully it shifts, because what's in the can kind of elevates past like what the packaging is. I think they're overlooked as far as like a really good haze producer, a really good IPA producer. That's not something you think about when you think of them,
right? But
they're good in that space. So,
so this is a double dry hopped Strata, Simcoe, and how you say the other one? Mocha, or how you say the M hop?
Oh, Motueka?
Moki, yeah. So that Simcoe hop is pretty common in our hazy beers. Strata, I feel like Forbidden Root is someone who likes to use Strata hops.
Yeah, and I know less about Strata. I want to say Motueka. Feels like it might be one of those New Zealand hops.
Yeah.
But I tell you, it draws you in with like a very candied kind of orange sweetness, but then it takes a sharp turn and goes right into some pininess and some grapefruitness. It's not indicative of the smell.
Mm-hmm. And it doesn't have any of that, something like Alarmist or our Old Irving has that like little bit of hop bite that makes you feel like it's beer. This finish is very clean and like almost refreshing, not sweet like juice, but like clean like juice. Like
I know what you mean. Well, you're getting more than just the juice. Now we're talking like not Fire Rabbit, but Four Roses, not Four Roses, Forbidden Root.
Yeah.
Now we're talking like them, where it's like it's the whole fruit. It's the fiber, It's, you peel the orange, but then if you leave some of it on when you're having your slice, like some of that, right? Some of
Right.
that, some of those, the whatever you call that.
Yeah, it's just giving it a more rounded texture
Yeah.
and mouthfeel that finish is so clean that it doesn't leave like anything hanging around or lingering. And 8.5%, like that's a big beer to just kind of like hide all that with 3 hops, basically.
I like that it's a little sharp, like, I mean, it's a haze for sure. And there's, there's bitterness and there's a ton of like ripe fruits on the nose, but there's a very pleasant, bitter, sharp base to it that I'm kind of into, because without it, like you said, without it, you would just have juice.
Yeah. So, I don't know. Good on Forbidden Root. Endless Recess. They had a few of them. They were canning a few other beers when I was there, including a white stout with, not Metal Monkey, Little Beaver.
Okay.
So a white stout with Little Beaver. They were doing a collaboration, and they were canning that one. So, yeah.
That's good stuff. So they're canning and shipping out of Ohio.
I guess some of it,
That's
but
interesting.
some of it's being canned here as well. So I don't know if that means they're shipping kegs to themselves or shipping like cannable beer to themselves and then canning it, or if they're just packaging all that. We do not know how the Forbidden Root setup is working right now.
There's an Ohio map logo on the can, and brewed and canned by Forbidden Root A Benefit LLC in Columbus, Ohio,
So this had to come from Ohio then. This beer.
which is state capital. Usually, what's driving that is like someone lives there. Like I think Revolution is Illinois, Wisconsin, and then like fucking Boston.
Okay.
Because I think one of them was from Boston, or Russian River. Russian River distributes to the West Coast, and then they distribute to Philly because one of the dudes is from Philly. Like it's probably usually they distro or set up shop away from home where someone's from there usually.
But if you see Forbidden Root stuff, don't sleep on it. Don't overlook this can just because you can. It's worth checking out.
Yeah, I think they're an underrated haze producer in the city. Yeah.
Cheers.
Cheers.